Hello, welcome to Miemie's Keepsakes. I'm Marnell. I am here today to flip through this Jubilee journal that we've been working on together. So it measures 9 inches by 6. That is 22.5 by 15 centimeters, and it has a 2-inch spine with 7 signatures and 140 pages. That's the bottom of the book, and I did make a bigger spine and I covered it with this beautiful broad fabric, and on the inside too. I just love this fabric, this kind of ice blue. It's just beautiful. This is the envelopes that the Canadian Post Office issued for the Jubilee with the stamp on there, the Platinum Jubilee. And I've cut it open and made a pocket in here so you can add something in there. It flips open and you have all the information on this side, and inside on the first page is a page from the book How the Queen Reigns. And then this photo was taken the day she arrived back from Kenya. She found out her father passed away and that she became queen while she was in Kenya. And so this would be her first photo taken in Britain as the Queen of England. And then I did lots of decorative sewing in a gold metallic thread. And this is a little one of those acetate bags that I decorated. I have a video on that if you want to see. I can put it in the description box. There's a couple of these in the book, and or you can go to the playlist. And then just inside is a writing spot, a big fat tag, just a little cluster here with William Morris in the back. And oh no, this is not William Morris, this is a Florentine paper with the Queen, and some vintage ledger. This is William Morris. And these birds I got from a book about British birds. This is from Florilegium. A little cluster here with the Queen, and all the botanical cutouts or fussy cut pieces are from a book about, I think, 2 different books. A book about gardening in Britain, and then a book about wildflowers in Britain and Wales. And this image, I think there's more in the book, are from images from the National Gallery of Art in London, and a vintage postcard and vintage invoices, a vintage map from about Britain. I can't remember, the atlas was from the 50s, I believe. And then here I just did a little bit of collage on the map. So this would be London, Ireland, and I had to cut the map in 2. More of it's coming on the other side later in the book. This is spinach dyed paper, so you can, I don't know if the camera would, but faintly there's just green marks on here. Again from Florilegium. And this is a newspaper cutting from the 27th of October 1977. So I think, I'm not sure if this was her, I kind of think this was her silver jubilee in 1977. We'll have to see. And then a tag with writing space on the back, and just like a cutout of the Queen on vintage ledger paper. Again, a page from the book with that gold thread. And this is another of those acetate bags that I decorated, and it's a pocket with a tag inside for more writing space, and some coffee dyed paper and a little lace tag. This is some avocado paper. It's very the pink is very faint here. It must have been the last bit of the batch, but I absolutely love it. It's just a beautiful soft pink. And this is a vintage ribbon and lace that I found in an antique shop with a playing card and a photo of the Queen. And I've added some rose gold edging on the photo here and a vintage envelope. And then more coffee dyed paper and just a little cluster and lace. And this is from a different book, but I did How the Queen Reigns didn't have any photos in it, and I did want some photos in this book. I had to cut this photo smaller because to fit in the book, but I love how you can see the little kids are talking and they're very impressed, but you should have seen the faces of the mothers in the background. They were so super proud and impressed. This is again William Morris and the iron-on embroidery piece. We made these faux postcards on camera as well. This is from Charm Studio. She's an artist, junk journaler from Ukraine, and she has the most amazing digital kits. I'll link her channel in the description box. And these are just the backs of those paper, little cluster here. And this is the second signature with spinach dyed paper again, and just vintage music paper and a little cluster with William Morris washi tape, and a vintage receipt in here with William Morris again and the Queen. And I backed this lace with some tracing paper just to give it stability, so it's easier to take your things in and out of the pocket. Again from Florilegium, a page from How the Queen Reigns. And this goes in. This is an acetate bag again, and I made a flip out of this, and the bingo card with the Queen on front, and again that Florentine paper and some writing space in the back. So this goes in here. It would look like that. And flip over, and you can still glue some writing paper on here or photos or whatever, or you can glue this down as a pocket if you want to. And this paper is some food color dyed paper, and this is Kate Greenaway illustrations with the Queen and her family on the balcony wearing her crown. And this is a newspaper clipping with a vintage playing card, and I backed the newspapers with some writing paper so there's more space to write. And I also added on the front, I added some matte medium just to stabilize the paper because it is very fragile. This is the Jubilee Proves the Queen's Wish Attainable, and it must be 1977. This is her 1977 was her silver Jubilee. And more from Florilegium, vintage music paper with a small stamp of the Queen in there. And again, these birds come from that British Book of Birds. And I made an envelope here with the Queen and Charles. And inside there's some writing paper, 2 sheets. And this, I didn't glue it down, but this can obviously be glued down as a pocket if you want to. Or move it around, that's why I paper clipped it in. And this is again some tea dyed paper, avocado dyed paper, no, this is beet dyed paper, and a small little photo of the Queen and Prince Philip in the vehicle driving somewhere. More tea dyed paper, and another newspaper clipping. Princess says it's up to us. Some writing space in the back. And these copper kind of paper clips are vintage. I found them at a thrift store in a really old box. Some vintage ledger paper, and again that vintage map from England and Wales. And this is another book that I used, British Wildlife, and I've got some things out of there as well, botanicals and other things for these journals. And then a vintage postcard, Lake Louise in Alberta, and there's some room to write on the back. Some tea-dyed paper, bead paper, tea-dyed paper again, and some, throughout the book I made some gold splatters with watercolor gold paper, gold watercolor paint. This is a vintage greeting card, get well soon, and I didn't alter it. I thought whoever gets the book can do that. So there's lots of writing space here already, but you can definitely add something on there, and there's writing space on the back as well. So in this journal there's a lot of writing space. This is blue paper from it's either blueberry or food coloring, I'm not 100% sure. A little bit of William Morris here in the back, and a stamp of the Queen, and more photos of her attending official ceremonies and doing her duty. Tea-dyed paper and more bead-dyed paper with a little cluster. And this is from a book, The Romantic Language of Flowers. And I made this side pocket, corner pocket, with there's a stamp of the Queen, and the Queen when she was a teenager with her mother, father and sister out in a field somewhere. And here again on official duty, 1957. And this is from that book with the British wildflowers, and it was pretty on both sides and I didn't want to cut it up, so I just paper clipped it in here. You can make a pocket out of this, or you know, fussy cut it. Lots of ideas. And this is tea-dyed paper, a little bit of Beatrix Potter, some ledger paper, and a cluster up there. Again, a page from the book. So there's lots of writing space in here. Again, writing space. This is, I made this on camera too, when we used the Victorian photo albums to create some ephemera. So this is just a flip out, and inside is this journaling card, and you can add more things into this pocket. It's a generous pocket. And some splatters again with that gold. I don't know if you can see the gold splatters in the back on spinach dyed paper, and just a little cluster with some British wildflowers. This image I got from a book about British roses or English roses, and I just love it. I have 2 bushes in my garden with these roses, and I love them. They're so pretty. And just a vintage little postcard. You can write on there, it flips open. And more splatters. Oops. And a little pocket I made with this silver Jubilee stamp on here that I got from Camille, thank you. And just a portrait of the Queen and some vintage writing paper. So you can still write on the back as well after, you know, and still there's lots of room to write on here. And Beatrix Potter, some tea-dyed paper, and this is Kate Greenaway again with the Queen, with Prince Charles, it's not King yet, with some William Morris in the back, and just a little tag. I didn't decorate it or anything because I wanted to keep it just kind of peeking out there, very simple. It's a busy page. And then a decorated glassine bag that I decoupaged some napkin on. And this is again an image from Charm Studio. Faux postage cards that we made, and lots of writing space on the back. And then more avocado dyed paper, more Beatrix Potter, coffee dyed paper, deep colored music writing paper, and then Edith Holden in the middle of the signature here, and another newspaper clipping. Here the Queen is 17. Just a little bit of lace on the back, and again I put matte medium on top. Kind of gives it a leathery feeling, which is really nice, but it won't brittle and break. More tea-dyed paper, or maybe coffee-dyed paper, Beatrix Potter again, and another of those acetate bags that we decorated with some of the gold splatter on the paper and the bag, and it's decorated on both sides. The tag is decorated on both sides as well, and it just goes in there. Flips out, and this is the back, the avocado dyed paper, last page from the book, and then this is the Queen, last page here. I love this photo. She looks so pretty with iron-on embroidery flower on there in a dusty blue. So that's the end of the book, or the journal. I really enjoyed making this journal. If you are interested in buying this journal, it will be in my Etsy shop when this video is published. So you can go to my Etsy shop. It is Miemie's Keepsakes on Etsy. I will leave the link in my description box. Thank you for joining me today and watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!